We recently went on Azamara journey and I've recorded absolutely everything that we've eaten, so I'm going to take you through each of the eateries on board and what you might be eating on your cruise. You might have seen that I already have a video on this from when we went on the Azamara Pursuit, and I took you through absolutely every dining venue that there was, and this video will be very similar, but it's just a newer, updated version. I will note that I haven't included the specialty restaurants in this video. You can go and watch my last video to see what we ate there, but we just didn't eat at them on this cruise, so the complimentary food was good enough for us. First, I'll take you to the Mosaic Cafe. This is a cute little cafe where you can have all your different coffees and teas. It's open the majority of the day and it's also got snacks including sandwiches and cakes, and the food differs throughout the day. It's very much got a small coffee shop vibe, but also very comfortable. It's got some sofa seating around. They also have a great selection of tea here, and the cookies were delicious. Our favourite thing about the Mosaic Cafe was not only is it a very relaxing place to eat, but you could take away things. So before we would get off the ship, we would often go along and get an iced drink because we were in Croatia and it was very hot. You'll know that if you've seen our vlogs from the trip. David would always get an iced latte to go. Now, before I take you to the buffet, I just want to talk about breakfast on the balcony. So you can order breakfast to your room, and that's not rare on a cruise ship. However, Azamara do it slightly differently. So we're in a balcony and you can do it in rooms which aren't balconies as well. But we had a balcony this time around, and during the sailing into Montenegro, we decided to order a load of breakfast and have it in our balcony and watch the sailing from there. It was absolutely stunning. It has to be a highlight of my cruise. We ordered so much off of the menu. It's completely complimentary. They come in, set it up, white tablecloth and everything. And then once you're done, you just leave it outside the door like any kind of normal room service. And whilst we were waiting for it, David even went and got us some little takeaway coffees from the Mosaic Cafe to have whilst we were waiting. And it was just absolutely gorgeous. I can't recommend it enough. If you have a balcony or anything with like an area where you can do this, I highly recommend it. We didn't do it in our ocean view last time, just because we thought it wouldn't be the same. But if you have done it in Ocean View, please do let me know how it is. Now I will take you to the buffet to talk about their breakfast. The buffet is called the Windows Cafe, and because it's a small ship, it's a fairly small buffet. So I do have to say the seating is lovely. We did like sitting in here. It's very bright. It was very comfortable. It had very good service. When it does get busy though in here, it does get busy. So if you do care about fast service, I would advise getting there a bit earlier because it can get really busy in here. But there's also a really lovely seating area outside out the back as well that you can make use of. Now, we would go to the buffet for breakfast every time, apart from that time we were on the balcony, and we really enjoyed their breakfast. They had a great selection. They had pretty much everything that you would want, and it would cater to an American taste, because David's American, and also a British taste. Obviously, I'm British. I would say though is that I did avoid their eggs. They were a little bit too sloppy for my liking, but other than that, I can't really complain about the breakfast. I really enjoyed it. I would often get an omelette from the omelette station where you just order it there and then they bring it to your table. And there is also always in the buffet a gluten-free and a vegan section, so if you have any dietary requirements, they are likely to cover it. I do have to say these are hit and miss though after having tried some, but at least the effort's there. Now, we didn't actually eat at the buffet much for lunch, and again, you'll know this if you've seen my other videos, we always go to the Patio grill, and I'll tell you more about that later. It had general stuff. It was quite samey, fish, meat, vegetables, all the kind of staples, but I wasn't really blown away with it. do have to admit, because I was quite harsh about the pizza in my last video, and a couple of people have picked up on that, and I know that you don't go on a nice line to enjoy the pizza, you know, that's not what you're there for. However, I really do enjoy pizza on a cruise. I'm happy to say that they have improved. So the first time we went on, the pizza was just awful, really awful. Like, I can't even describe how bad it was. This time round, it was a lot better. It felt more homemade, really good thick toppings. It was quite good. So, you know, not the best pizza. Do let me know in the comments though which line you think has the best pizza. I personally think that it's MSC and Princess. I couldn't pick between them, but let me know what you think. But another thing about the buffet is they are open every night, and every night for dinner, or tea depending where you're from, they do themed dinner. And whilst we love the main dining room, which again I'll get onto later, I have to tell you, I loved the Indian night. So we did the Indian night first time we were on board, and we did it again on Journey this time, and the Indian food in the buffet was just so good. I think a lot of the staff were perhaps Indian, because you could see it in their faces in the way that they were very proud of their food, and they would tell me a lot about all of the food and the origins and how good it was, and they were really happy to see guests enjoying it. So if you are on board, at least before you go to dinner, just go and look at the Indian buffet, just in case that's your kind of thing. But yeah, every night is a themed night, so do look out for all the different themes if there is a specific cuisine that you do like. The way that we find out what nights they are is if you go into the specialty restaurants to book on like the first day, whether you're going to book or not, they always have a piece of paper there that tells you what each night is, and that will be the buffet. It'll tell you when the white night is, it'll tell you when the As Amazing evening is. It just gives everything breakdown. So obviously when you're booking in specialty restaurants, you don't book on a night that you actually want to be elsewhere. That's where we get our information from. I don't know if there's an easier way to do it. Another thing I love in the buffet is they have an ice cream section. So they have a freezer with all these different ice creams in. And again, in my last video I was quite harsh about the ice cream. I didn't think it was very flavorful or creamy. This time round, I take it back. Really good this time. I don't know if they've done some changes. There was about 9 months between our sailings, and maybe they had changed their sources of things since then. And also, just to note, they put it in a little metal thing and you can take it out to the pool. So at lunch, we would always be at the patio. 12 noon would hit and we would be there. We would be sat there before it even opened. David absolutely loves this place, and so do I. If I could have it every day for lunch, I would. It's like a grill place, and it also has a salad bar as well. I do have to admit, I didn't really eat at the salad bar because it was very hot where we were, and the patio is outside, but it is covered. It's by the pool, but it is undercover. But there were a lot of flies around, so do have a think about that if you are in a hot place. The menu just, it has everything grilled that you would want. It's so good. David's weakness was the burger and fries, and then he would often get many sides on top of that. And my thing was the spicy tuna wrap. I absolutely adored it. And if you like it cooked a certain way, any of your meats or fish, you can ask for it specifically how you'd like. You can alter any of the menu really. If you want nachos without the meat or something, they're very happy to do that. So here's a montage of everything that we ate at the patio. Also to note, they do really good vegan stuff at the patio, including, I think it's Beyond Meat that they have. So they have the hot dogs and the burgers, and they do them really well, and they put loads of toppings on them, and it's so good. So if you're vegan or just prefer to avoid meat sometimes, this is also a really great place to eat. Next to the patio, you have Swirl and Top, which is a little bit underrated. So this is a little frozen yogurt station that they have. But the key thing here is they have so many sweet toppings to put on top, like marshmallows, fruits, biscuits, biscuits, chocolate drops, they've got everything there. And they also have usually 3 different sauces as well. So you can put that on your frozen yogurt, or if you've got ice cream from the buffet, you can come and get some toppings from here. This was my daily treat at about 4 p.m. I'd have it every single day. One thing though is sometimes I just wanted some plain frozen yogurt or some vanilla frozen yogurt, and I think that they should always have plain or frozen as an option. But most of the time it was chocolate or strawberry frozen yogurt, which is fine. I'm being fussy, I know, but the flavors do change every day, and a lot of the time they aren't just your plain flavor like vanilla. But then you just go and get the ice cream from the buffet, so it's not really an issue. Now, before I move on to the main dining room, I'm just going to very quickly mention up in the living room, they also serve snacks throughout the day. So often when all of the other venues are shut, the living room will have afternoon tea and tapas. Now, we very rarely ate these. We don't think that they were quite up to Azamara standard for all of the other food. We love a late night snack, and it just felt a little bit like freezer food. It was quite good for like pre-dinner drinks if you wanted something like nuts or olives, but as far as like food goes, it wasn't that great. So I really don't have much footage of it. If you have an opinion of it, please also put it in the comments. And if you're finding this video helpful, please do hit that subscribe button, because it does help us out. The majority of our viewers are not subscribed. If you have any questions about Azamara cruises or other lines, please do pop them down below, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Also, David is a cruise connoisseur at Panache Cruises, so if you need any help finding a cruise and would like a quote, he can definitely beat what you're being offered online. Please do drop a comment below and I'll give you his email. I'm just going to talk about drinks as well, because that's something that we all want to know about. Azamara do complimentary alcohol drinks as a part of your basic cruise fare. We have never bought a drink on Azamara. We find the basic stuff is just fine, but if you are fussy, you can upgrade. I'm not sure how much it is, so don't ask me. But here is the menu that you can take a look at for the complimentary drinks. I would just stick with the ginger beer. That's always my go-to, and the tropical lemonade was also pretty nice, and David would just pretty much always have beer. And then usually at dinner, or wherever you are, where we would have wine was at dinner, and they would often have all the main types. It's just if you want a specific wine, so you could say Sauvignon Blanc or a Pinot Grigio, that is all complimentary. So the main dining room, the Discoveries restaurant. There's a Discoveries bar as you walk in on the left, and then you've got the restaurant. It is anytime dining, and I don't think that we have ever had to wait for a table. If you do want a table by the window, you do have to get there early though. But we love the main dining room. Like I say, we didn't go to specialities because the main dining room we were absolutely happy with. Here's a montage of multiple different menus for you to pause and have a look at. If you're interested in that, I'll do the mains, starters and mains first, and then I'll move on to some dessert menus, and then we'll get to the actual food. So as far as the food goes, we were very happy with it. You would always get bread and butter at the start. You'd always have butter, olive and balsamic oil, and then also a garlic oil in a little trio dish. And the bread would be different each time, every day. So you could pick and choose which bread. But here is a montage of everything that we ate in the main dining room. We absolutely loved the food on Azamara. It is our favourite across all cruise lines that we have tried. Do let me know what you think of Azamara food. I know it's very subjective and not everybody's going to agree with me, but thanks for watching.